Late night lights, PS5. Gran Turismo, we drive, we drive. Smooth streets, feeling alive. YIL2D, we thrive, we thrive. Wheel in hand, so tight, so right. Streaming all night till the morning light. Fast cars, the thrill, the ride. YIL2D, the pride, the pride. YIL2D on the screen, yeah. Streaming dreams, so keen, yeah. YIL2D, feeling free. Oh, races free, come with me. Oh, heartbeats match the engine's roar. Every turn wanting more. Racing kings, we soar. YIL2D, hit the floor. Nights alive, speeding high to sky. We fly, we fly. YIL2D, don't deny. Gran Turismo, up high, up high. YIL2D on the screen, yeah. Streaming dreams, so keen, yeah. YIL2D, feeling free. Oh, races free, come with me. Oh. YIL2D on the screen, yeah. Streaming dreams, so keen, yeah. YIL2D, feeling free. Oh, races free, come with me. Oh. Streaming dreams, so keen, yeah. Late night.
What's up, y'all? What's up, y'all? Good to see you guys. Welcome back for episode 16 of Behind the Wheel. It's your boy VKG in the house. How you guys doing? It's great to see everybody. Claire, Chris, LVP 444, Petrol, Farouk, I got your name right there, Iris, Hoggy, we got Stevie in here, we got Maria in here. How you doing today? Good to see you. Good to see you. Got my boy Yale already in the chat on it. Brigsby, Buzz, what's up, brother? Speedy, how you doing? How you doing? Good to see you guys. RL250, Captain Howdy, Venus. Hopefully I got everybody. If I didn't and I missed you, we'll definitely get back to you. I'm happy to be here today. It's a Saturday. I believe it's April 26th, so it's still technically my birthday week. So thank you everybody who stopped by and said hello for my birthday, and all the birthday videos, man. You guys made me cry on stream. It was super, super special. But today it's all about my boy YIL2D. If you guys don't know him, please check him out. I believe Chris Wood already got the link in the chat. So all you guys that are coming over from his community and everybody that's intermingling, we're kind of having our own little like mini expo here. Every time we do a BTW, we have all kinds of people from all over the world. Me and Yil were talking about it earlier. One of the most amazing things that we love about this YouTube and being a host of YouTube communities is the ability to communicate with people all over the world. So without further ado, I bring to you all the way from Belgium. It's your man, your boy, YIL2D. What's up, brother? Good to see you, man. How you doing?
Hey, Viking, and everyone in chat, welcome. First of all, thank you for having me. It's great to talk to you for about an hour now, and I'm excited for this show.
Man, I am too, man. It's been honestly like one of the best communities on YouTube, period, is Team Vibe Racing. Like you guys, Pixel and you were from the beginning. I mean, from the jump. We were just talking about it. And I think we actually started around the same time in early 2024. And 2025 has been an awesome. I think you actually started earlier than me, but when we go back and think about like this journey, we've been going like side by side for a long time. I appreciate you. You were my very first raid ever. We were telling that story. What was it like? You were telling me that I was kind of awkward about the very first raid. And I don't know if anybody even knows what raids are, but if you don't, When a host has a group, they can send a raid over to another channel, and Yil was my very first one. So thank you, sir. I appreciate you for doing that.
It's been a pleasure, man. When the first time I saw you streaming, I thought this guy has a great vibe. It's a. I also thought he has a great community, great vibe. Let's give him a little push from my side to help others out, like I always try to do with everyone, actually.
Dude, I appreciate it. It's definitely I've tried to do the raids. I still feel so new to this game. I don't know if we ever get like masters of this craft. I don't know. I feel like if you ever feel like you're a master of the craft already, you should be trying to do something different. In your field of work, in design and graphics and stuff, you're telling me that this is something that you like to do. You want to share a little bit about what it is that you do so people kind of understand where all this cool content comes from?
Yeah, I'm a UX UI designer, and I push pixels for a living. So I make websites, apps, all sort of kind of designs. And yeah, I take that creativity and try to embed it in my channel, in my branding, own branding and stuff. I just love design. It's my passion. It's my hobby since I'm a teenager.
That's pretty cool, man. I definitely, you know, when I watch like Sparks and I watch some of these guys and I'm like, how do they come up with this stuff? I'm constantly beating my head against the wall. Luckily, I got some foam padding, so it's not as bad. But I'm constantly beating my head against the wall. My camera's already messing up. Trying to figure out new things to come up with, you know, new content, things like that. So I appreciate just all of the cool things that come out of the YIL2D community and the channel. Let me figure out why the heck my dang camera. I got this new OBS camera. It's got like a AI tracking, and I think the lights might be messing with it. Oh well. But so cool things to kind of figure out where everybody comes from and what everybody does. You're coming out of Belgium. You said that you grew up and lived in Belgium kind of your whole life. But you have Turkish roots. Is that correct?
Yeah, yeah, that's correct. So I have Turkish roots, but I am born in Belgium, and yeah, I'm here my whole life, and I'm working here. Have a lot of amazing people around me, and yeah, that's about it.
So Belgium, what's Belgium like? Is it like good weather, bad weather, good food? Like I know like I've heard of like Belgian waffles.
Yeah, we got the best waffles indeed. We got also Brussels, the mussels from Brussels. We got chocolate, we got good beer. Although I don't drink beer, but I hear we got the best beer.
Okay.
Um, yeah,
Do you guys
it's
is racing like real big in Belgium? Because I mean, for my birthday video, you sent me a video of you actually at the track. Is that somewhere near or far?
yeah. I live like 50 minutes or 1 hour to the track Spa that everyone loves. And that weekend we were going there for the Porsche days. And I thought, and I told your missus, like, look, I have a cool idea. Let me make a video there for Viking. And that's how it happened.
Dude, it was absolutely epic. I truly appreciate it. I was caught off guard too because I was like looking at it and then boom, you popped into the screen. I was like, oh snap, man. No, I think everybody who took the time out of that out of their day to do that. And shout out to Misa who just constantly is always trying to love me more. And I truly appreciate that. Actually, this was this birthday shirt. Me and my 3-year-old are wearing it. It's got Kitty and Boo from Monsters Inc. So it's kind of our thing. Still got I feel like it got a little Viking theme to it, but shout out to the Misa. You got yourself a good missus as well. I want to make sure I get this right. You guys have been together for 21 years, and I think you're going on 15 years of marriage.
Yeah, we are actually almost 21 years together in May. Uh, like couple of days left. And she's been amazing. She is the best mother ever. She's a great wife to me, a partner. and I love her too much, man. She has always been supporting me in my journey, and yeah, all the shout outs I can give her, I want to send it to her. She's also watching, by the way, with my son. She's also in the chat. If you see
I see
Maria
her
pop up,
playing a little bit. You said shout out to Maria. I see these graphics here that you sent me. Just so you know while you're chatting, the family looks like they're pretty into the sim racing too.
yeah, when I got my DD Pro, I didn't sell my Logitech wheel, my first wheel. So they can use it. They also love racing. My wife is so into Formula One. That's why we can also go to the tracks near us. So yeah, it's been a great,
You look
great
like you have
support
a
from her.
beautiful family. It's one son I see, and you and Maria. So shout out to y'all. Nice to see y'all. Shout out from Viking. Beautiful Belgium. Is she from Belgium too, or did you guys meet there?
She's actually we met in Belgium, but she's actually Dutch.
Dutch. Okay.
So
Okay.
yeah,
And
and she is the
how
biggest.
far is that?
Uh, I live near the border with Netherlands, so it's actually like 10 minutes from me, the Dutch border. And we don't have actually borders here in Europe. You can just cross the line and you are there. But what I wanted to say was she's the biggest Max Verstappen fan out there, man.
Does she
So yeah,
so when it comes to racing, is it you are the bigger racing fan or is she the bigger racing fan?
I think she tops me now.
Heck yeah, man. Hey, way to have fast women, man. We need that. We need that. Keeps us up to pace. Keeps us up to pace. And when I say fast women, I mean out on the track. Misa's been getting some practice in. She's starting to get her account right. She's starting to level out kind of in the area. She's like a low D right now, but last week she got like top 15K in a time in a qualifying, and like I was at work like, what? Like you Man, you're putting that rig to work, man. I'm coming back. My buttons are all changed and everything. Does she get on your rig, or do you said you guys got two different rigs?
Yeah, when she got the chance with yeah, life happening, she loves to jump on my rig, but yeah, life happens, you know. You don't find the time every day, so it is less frequent lately.
So we'll definitely get into how this then became such a big part of your life. Shout out to all the dads out there, all the family men that kind of figure out how to have this little nook in their house and get away with it. So I know it's a juggle, especially, but I think it makes it easier when our women like to play the game as well. So shout out to you ladies out there. They're supporting your man. Shout out to all the families again. And everybody out there who's going through it. We were chatting a little bit earlier. I think the more people you meet in YouTube, the more you learn that everybody's kind of going through something. So shout out to our teammates and the people out there who are going through it. I appreciate you guys taking the time even more. You got a team that you race with, and it's Vibes Racing, right?
Yeah, that's correct. And actually, it's a co-founded Vibe organization. Let me say like that. It's not really a racing team, but it's actually just collection of great racers from all different levels, racing together with clean and fair racing in mind. So like it's co-founded by me, Pixel Racer, and Six Gaming TV. Actually,
Shout out to Six. Shout out
um,
to Pixel. Pixel's one of my favorite. He hasn't been on in a little while, but again, he's one of my
yeah,
favorite guys to hang out with. Super positive vibes from the very, very, very beginning of my YouTube, and my YouTube career started with my Gran Turismo career. It was like simultaneous. Actually, Gran Turismo came in after I started YouTube, like a month after is when I got my wheel and stuff. So shout out to those guys. I hope the community knows those guys, but nothing but positive vibes coming out of there. One of the reasons I really love your channel, one of the reasons why I really wanted to have you on the show, is because your community is booming. You've been on YouTube since January 2024. You're already at 3.6 thousand subscribers. And that's just a testament to, again, of the vibes that are on on your channel. Every time I go there, you say hi, you take time to say hello to everybody. Tell us a little bit about YouTube and kind of how this came to be.
Yeah, when I first got my wheel, the Logitech one, I organized some boys' night with friends, and they all loved it. They all saw how much passion I had for racing, and they told me actually, like, Yil, why don't you try out YouTube? Like, give it a shot. Why not? And something I love about YouTube is that it's connecting people. To me, I'm not striving to be the top of the world. I have my ambitions, but the people come first. The people in the chat. If I'm crashing because I'm reading the chat, I don't mind that. I really like chatting with people, connecting with people, and be positive because there is a lot of negativity in the world, and we just need an escape from all that to have a little escape, a positive place to play the game and chat with nice people.
100%, 100%. We talk about that yield aura. We were talking about like the lights. So shout out to Misa again. She got me this cool light for my birthday. But we were talking about like the yield aura, man. How people say sometimes because of the light behind you. But I think it's the light within you, man, that really attracts all these people. And
Thank you, man.
you're it's just an honor and a pleasure today to get to know you a little bit better. So I'm very excited about this. We were talking a little bit about kind of your journey and kind of how this started for you. Said video games have been in your life since the very beginning, starting out on Atari, Nintendo, Super Nintendo. You even started out on the OG PS1. And tell us a little bit about how you got into Gran Turismo, because for me it triggered me when you said when you talked about the demo disc, because I specifically, like, I think I remember the exact disc that you're talking about.
Yeah. Sorry, the ice cream car is just passing by my street. If you are hearing something, it's just the ice
Ice
cream
cream for
car.
ice cream. The ice cream guy actually gave a card to my kids so that they never miss him.
Yeah. So talking about PlayStation 1, yeah, the PlayStation 1 I got from my mother actually for having good grades in my school. But after that, my grades just dropped, man. Just dropped because I was playing day and night, and I only got V Rally as a game with the PlayStation, but it had a demo disc. And on that demo disc, there were like 12 games, and one of them was Gran Turismo 1. And I think it was stage 5 or something called like, or route 5 track on there. And I played it like day and night because I love Gran Turismo and the graphics on there. And that was real fun.
Yeah, I think I remember like the demo disc having like Spyro on it, a little Crash Bandicoot, some of the things like that. But we were talking like when you're growing up, I mean, the Need for Speeds and like the Midnight Clubs and like, all the games where, like you said, you can go 300 kilometers, you go 200 miles an hour, and just bang off of stuff and bounce off of stuff. And I think the
Yeah.
frustration in trying to be so perfect on even from the early days, Gran Turismo has been a very difficult game. Like if you didn't actually try to apply racecraft to the game, you weren't good at it. It's not one of those games, and they didn't add like crash effects and like things that made crashing rewarding, I feel like. So it was one of those games I just got far away from. You said you started out eventually on the G923, I believe it is, which is, that G series is kind of the entry level for everybody. It's the gateway wheel. But then you got wheel serious when you got the DD Pro. And it's funny, we got some graphics here. You got your DD Pro going far before you got your rig going. So let's kind of walk through. We got a lot of pictures here with your rig progress from it going into the living room and then building out your room. Tell us what it was like starting out with this DD Pro on a neck stand.
Yeah, like when I ordered my DD Pro, I knew I needed to get a rig. Um, I started in the living room with the Logitech, but I quickly realized that I wanted a DD. And after that, when I ordered my rig, it said that it was available at the website of Track Racer. Not to put shade on Track Racer as a brand or something, but I waited for 3 months on my rig. There were some shipping issues or on their side, so I needed to wait, and I didn't want to wait for 3 months with my new wheel actually, because uh, Fanatec shipped my wheel real fast, and I got it like in a week. And after that, I was talking to my wife, and I said to her like, "Look, I'm just gonna dig holes into the neck stand and attach my DD on it." And I played like 3 months on that thing,
Yeah,
and
I
it
had to
wobbled
do some
like
serious
crazy.
reinforcements.
Yeah.
I had like the
And
play type
then,
seat with the CSL Elite, and that was bad. So I can imagine how hard that was.
yeah, indeed. And then when I started the talks with my wife about my racing room, I made plans to make sure it would fit in my office, because I'm a work from home. I was working from home during the lockdown, and I needed my office to work.
When you
And I planned everything out. I measured everything. I ordered the rig, but then it was just waiting.
So when you say you plan this out, like I need people to understand, like the graphic that they just saw. He
Yeah.
really planned
So
this out. Like, look at this graphic. He has his desk before, he's got his rig, he's got his space all mapped out. Like you really got serious about this.
yeah, absolutely. I love to draw or plan things out, because when you do a big purchase like a rig or a wheel, you need to be sure to get it fit.
Definitely,
And
definitely.
yeah,
Let's check out this room now though. So I'm seeing the progress. Do you play keyboard?
um, yes, I sometimes play with it. It's now in the living room. My son uses it as well. I'm trying to teach him also some keyboard music.
Very cool, very cool. I didn't know you fancied yourself a musician, sir. That is pretty cool.
No, by any means, I'm not a musician. I'm just an enthusiast. I play like a beginner, and I am just a beginner, a noob with the keyboard.
So I see even before you got the rig, it looks like you had the big black chair. So that's what we're looking at now. So you were like, I'm not waiting. I'm getting right into this and I'm going. And then it looks like you got your rig in. Now
Yeah,
did you bust any knuckles on this thing?
yeah. Actually, it took me 2 evenings to build it, because yeah, it was just a work day. I couldn't build it during the day, so I needed to do it. I needed to do it in the evenings, and I offered like two nights to build it, and eventually got it.
Yeah. The frames are sharp, y'all. So just so you know, these things are very precisely cut. And you got to have your little caps on them and stuff like that. So I make sure I had my daughter actually run into the room. I don't know why my camera's doing this again. My daughter ran into the room and hit her knee on the rig. So now I've like vowed to have, like tape and plastic on it. Just because that rig is sharp, but I think it's one of the most I think it was I forget who said it, but they said it's probably the most, or Pupuyuku said it's probably the most necessary piece of equipment um, that he has, because once you get that, then you can really start to build into what it needs to be. And we're looking here at your beautiful setup now. Um, I mean, do you ever stand back? Do you ever walk in the room and look at that like, man, I've come a long way with this?
Yeah, like every month I try to upgrade something, but this hobby is yeah, costly, man. This it breaks the bank, you know.
How I mean,
Um,
I don't want you to have to share it, but you've gone pretty far down the rabbit hole, I'm assuming.
Yeah, absolutely. I also let AC installed in my room so I can stream during summers when it's really hot in here. So yeah, it's a big rabbit hole which I fell in.
I talk to people a lot about kind of the difference between one of my good buddies on YouTube now is Gutter the Great. And I was talking to him kind of the difference between like the Madden community and like the Gran Turismo community. And I think it's like the investment, factor. And we don't just buy the console and the game. We got to get the console, the game, the wheel, the pedals, the rigs, the lights, and then you get into, as you get into streaming and you get into being a community host, you have all these little things that you want to add to it to kind of like bring up the vibes to your channel. And I think it's the investment really that brings this community together in a huge way, because you genuinely have to
Absolutely.
sacrifice for this stuff. So let's
Yeah, absolutely.
let's get
It's
into
crazy.
no, go ahead.
Yeah. No, I just want to say it's crazy how much investment it's gotten into because yeah, it's like a vacation, huh? And
Oh,
every
for
time you
sure.
sit in the rig, it feels like a blessing. It feels like I'm blessed to have all this, to have access to this, and to stream, to connect with people. It's just amazing.
So let's go back to kind of the beginning. Who inspired this the most? You said you kind of had some guy, some guys come over and try out the rig. And I know that you got a lot of positive feedback about that, but was there any like key moments, were there channels that you were watching that was like, I could do this?
Yeah, there are a lot of there. I don't want to single out one person, but we all know the big streamers out there. Like one of them is Rory, Jimmy Broadband, even Key, and all Jardier, Super GT. Like I watched them all for years, and I really like their content. And I thought to myself, I'm a creative person. Maybe I should try that too. And then when I was talking to my wife and I was before all the rig and the wheels and stuff, and she said like, what do you have to lose? Just try and see where it goes. If you don't like it afterwards, you can sell it.
Right. And that's that why not? Look at my camera. I know
Yeah,
you guys
indeed.
do this. That's that why not, when I ask people like, why are you doing this? Well, why not? Man, have fun on here. And if you genuinely, have that kind of personality, I think the channel and the community is just going to radiate towards you, which they have, for you and the team and everything that you're doing, man. When I jump onto your channel, you have a huge community. Like it really kind of blows my mind because I'll see people with like big numbers, but not a lot of people hanging out in the moment. But when I go to your channel, I mean, it's really like 60, 70, 80 people, that are out there vibing with you. How does that fuel you when you're racing? Is it the race fueling you, or is it the community that's fueling you?
I think the community fuels me in a way like I know that there are like many lurkers behind that don't come into the chat and just watching me, I guess, and trying to have a good time. And for me too, I always strive for good time, good vibes, and it's not always about the numbers. I rather have a small community with awesome people than have like a million subscribers.
100%. I think we were talking. I think Rory said it best. Jeez. I think Rory said it best when he was like, he focuses on the community and the chat. And one of the things that I was looking at, some of the tricks that I use to be able to engage better with the community is having my phone kind of down here so I don't have to look too far from the screen so I can see the chat. I know that you have a couple accessories that we are looking at, but we're going into. Let's go back to these stats here. Going back into kind of what you're using with the Fanatec DD Pro, the Track Racer Lite, and then you're on the Mac Mini and the PS5. What are some of the essentials that you think are needed just to be a community host? What makes it easier?
I think a mic is one of the important thing because when I started out, I just bought the cheapest mic out there, the cheapest camera out there, and it's yeah, it was a great starting point. You don't need to have a lot of money to start out. You just put yourself out there and be nice to people,
100%.
and they will follow you. They will chat with you, and that's how it grow.
So with more equipment, I see in your background always all these beautiful wheels. Tell me a little bit about
Yeah.
this wheel journey. It looks like that might be maybe your favorite piece of equipment.
Yeah, indeed, because I don't know. I guess holding the wheels is just special. Um, it's like a sneaker addiction. People that are collecting sneakers. I try to collect wheels now, and I told my wife already. I have some space left here for a fifth wheel, but we will see.
I'm still on. I mean, my wheel is beat, man. I don't know. Some people kind of see, I've already beat this thing up, and I'm so proud of it. And I'm honestly, shout out to Fanatec and this podium F1 because I beat the heck out of this thing, man. Are you rough on the wheel? I don't know if you. I don't think you wear gloves, do you?
I have worn gloves. I have them here or also, but lately I switched off to not wearing gloves because I don't know. It sweats a lot. My wife tried to wash them like every week for
Yeah.
me, but it's been a hassle. And after I got my McLaren wheel and the F1 wheel, I just left the gloves out. But maybe now with the Porsche wheel, with this fabric, I'm thinking of introducing them back because I don't want to wear this fabric that much.
So I've noticed that when it comes to the wheels, is that I can be. I try to wash it as much as I can, but it's kind of hopeless. What the trick that I've learned best as I'm trying to adjust this camera, the trick I've learned best is to soak my hand in like hand sanitizer and then put the gloves
Hmm.
on and then let them air out. It's kind of a trick I've used for, my motorcycle gloves, and essentially that's what I'm using is our motorcycle gloves. Are you using actual race gloves or do you have like a preferred style?
Um, First, I bought these Greyhound gloves from the internet. They were like the best reviewed gloves out there for sim racing because they have like rubber insides, like I can show you here. But the wheel that I was using then was also rubber. So rubber on rubber was not a good idea. So I switched to Sparko. Um, the Mecha 3 gloves from Sparko were my favorite until now. And I think I'm gonna buy another pair for this wheel.
So shout out to those who wear gloves. I always call them gloves because my 3-year-old calls them gloves. A couple people see mine. Mine are like legit motorcycle gloves. They're sturdy as all heck. They got all the scratch spots that you don't bones you don't want to lose. But I think it does give a little bit more immersion, and I think a lot of this game is about immersion, and it's about kind of trying to get the most race experience through the game that you can get. I know a lot of guys, they got a cool sock game or they got a cool shoe game or they got a cool glove game, depending on, what their style is. But I think Rory had said it, it's another kind of sponsor opportunity. If somebody sees your channel, that's another moment where, hey, I could wear these gloves and possibly get it out there. So when it comes to how you manage your channel and the direction that you're going in, I mean, what's the goal? Is it did you start the channel for like an extra income? Did you do it to just build a community? How's that working out?
First off, the goal is for me to grow a community that I already have, I think, with awesome people. Actually, so awesome to race with them, to chat with them, and just even it's like sharing memes with them, to have a laugh. They are awesome. I appreciate everyone. that are following me in my Discord or just on my YouTube channel. I love the people. It's the people that you meet in your journey that makes it worthwhile.
We're
And it's not about the numbers, it's not about earning a side hustle or something like that. Because I have a full-time job. I don't need that extra cash is always nice, but it's not the main reason why I do it.
what what do you do with that extra cash? Does that go just back into the sim room, or does that, do you do any community outreach or anything like that?
Absolutely. We organize 5 races and stuff. I am planning something to do with that cash to maybe get a better price or something like that for the community.
Yeah, I love one of the huge things that I've been encouraged to do, or just a calling. I mean, I don't know what to call it, but I love giving back. I love making people happy.
Absolutely.
I've served people kind of my whole life, and I think at this phase, as I hit the kind of the second half of my life, everything that I do, I'm trying to make it purposeful. My career, my hobbies, guiding my kids. We were talking about kind of channel values and some of the things that we both value a lot when it comes to our channel. And it's, we try not to curse, and we try not to, have any content that could be misleading them in any way. Tell me a little bit about your philosophy on kind of how you carry yourself and you conduct yourself, your character on the channel, we'll say.
Yeah, first of all, I am a father. I need to be an example for my son. And I'm a firm believer of lead by example, so that my son knows how to behave, uh, and sort of like that. And that's my starting point. So I don't want any cursing or stuff, bad talk or like that in my channel. I just want to have a good, decent, family-friendly channel.
I really appreciate that about you. We're same thing talking to Rory and his boys are watching. We got hundreds, if not thousands of hours of time of FaceTime right here. And one of the things that I said in the very beginning is at the end of all this, my family's just kind of and my kids are just kind of going to have this kind of this vlog
Absolutely.
of me playing this game and engaging with the community. And as it's become bigger, it's really become kind of a household concept here, and what's the community doing, and when we talk about it, we talk about it as the community. And I was talking about it to my coworkers, like, hey, I'm trying to get my community behind, maybe, raising this for this person or helping with this person, and they're like, community, what are you talking about? And I was like, oh, and so how do you explain to people what this is in your life?
Yeah, I have a tip for you. I don't. There, there is, there is maybe a handful of people besides my family and closest friends that know that I'm doing this, because I don't think even my neighbors know that I'm doing this.
I don't think anybody on my Facebook is actually on my YouTube, which is weird because I have like it's weird to think they have two completely opposite separate communities growing, and they I'm waiting for them to merge. I don't really share it on my Facebook. I really don't even I guess share, the Viking King thing on those platforms. It kind of has its own identity.
Mhm.
Do you feel like YIL2D is its own person when you sit in the chair? Do you kind of it's like putting on a Superman costume.
I don't think so, because the people that know me truly, they know that I'm just the same person on camera or off camera. I have nothing to put a mask on or something like that to be a different guy. I'm just me. That's it.
That's
And
what I love
that's
about you, man.
and yeah, uh, all my closest friends will tell you this, that I'm just the same guy on camera, laughing, making dad jokes and stuff like that.
Shout out to all the good dad jokes. A little bit more into the community diving. You've been able to actually hang out, and we were talking the kind of the difference between, I guess, the USA and the UK race community is I feel like you guys are a
Absolutely.
lot more tight knit. And a lot of the events and a lot of the racing actually happens over there. So I want to bring up this graphic where you guys were at the Dortmund Sim Expo, and we've had a couple pictures from a couple other behind the wheel alumni that were at this expo.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about how this was like and some of the people you got to meet.
Yeah, like last year around summertime, the question arose of, yeah, can we go to the Sim Racing Expo? And we got into talks with Pixel Racer. And he said, like, look, Yil, if you are planning to go, I'm going too. I'm just gonna fly over and you are gonna pick me up at the airport. And I said to him, yeah, sure, why not? Let's go, let's do it. And I picked him up from the airport. My cousin came with me. He was the one that took all the pictures there, following me like a media guy of the YIL2D community. And we met with awesome people like Doc here on the screen now. We met with Rory, all the guys, Hoggy, Sparks, Dutchy, Hakam Power. Yeah, it's been amazing. And another shout out to Flippin' Egg, Cranky Cake, Marley Diesel, Eric Fries, Jackie, all and Ruff, of course, all and RL, yeah, RL, the guy I didn't even know he was gonna be there, and that was so funny because when I saw him, I recognized him, and that was crazy. Then I also missed a couple of guys like Petrol Ted here in the chat and Charlie. And I was bummed out that I missed them because, yeah, we didn't have a lot of time there. Uh, but yeah, it was so nice to meet with awesome people, chat with them, have a genuine talks with them.
How cool is that, man? And what's it like being at one of these expos? Is it like, just all about viewing things? You said they were kind of teaching you guys some things about algorithms.
Yeah, we were talking about algorithms, how it affects the channel to support each other and stuff. Like Dutchy is the master of that. If you want to learn about the algorithm, you need to be talking with Dutchy. And I saw him already in the chat earlier. Shout out to him and all the other great people
Heck
that
yeah.
I met there.
Shout out to Harley Keen, Chris Wood. I see Rob. I see Speedy in there. Misa always in there. Petrol Ted, who you just mentioned, is in there. Shout out to Dutchy, TC Blankenship. There's so many amazing people. And I think that's one of the important things when we talk about the algorithm and we get behind each other and trying to merge in these communities. I've been on channels where not really about the networking, don't really like, you coming in and just blatantly saying hello to everybody. So I've kind of ventured away from those, but I've see for the most part, and I don't know if it's a change in this last year or two. I've heard there's been a little bit of a change. I haven't been around long enough to know, but what I'm seeing is a lot of people sharing and caring, a lot of people merging together, collaborating. You have, all the different racing leagues that are doing amazing, the NRLs, things like I think the NRL's finals going on today. So shout out to those guys who are competing. Um, but I think once you get on board to really sharing and you take that time to kind of promote others, you really feel that in the residuals. Is that something that you do often?
Yeah, like if you already follow me and watch my streams, you will encounter me shouting out to other creators, other streamers, and also I think I started this last year to start raiding people. After my streams, I always try to find someone that is just starting out and needs a little boost to keep going what they are doing, because this is an escape for me, and I want that people to have the same experience, to have their own escape and follow their own journey to the end.
What are some of your, I guess not your trade secrets, but what are some of the things that you do? I know that you're really big on Discord, and you use that tool quite a bit. I don't use it as much. What are some of the benefits of that Discord community and that platform?
Yeah, I think the key is be nice to people. I think people pick up on that, and um, like even if you are racing, be nice. If you accidentally bump into someone, just say sorry. Maybe wait on a straight line because that I have learned from your behind the wheel with Z, huh? Don't directly wait in the corner like that and blocking others. Try to get onto the straight, give the position back, and just be kind to people. That's it.
Okay, so let's get into a little bit of your racecraft then. What kind of driver are you, would you say?
I think I am competitive, but fair play and clean racing is a higher standard in my opinion, or in my priorities.
I definitely think
So
I was lucky in seeing, some really good, because there's some racers on there that kind of pride themselves on being nitty gritty, kind of, dirty, a little too much elbow. But the very first people that I was watching, like Rory and Hogston and a lot of those UK guys, it was SR over DR almost. It was never let that SR drop, because you really, that's really people really look at that more so than your skill is your class.
yeah, you can be slow, but if you are a fair and clean driver, and don't let your ego take the best of you, like let people overtake you that are faster than you. There is nothing wrong with being slow. Like you asked me what kind of driver you are. So at the moment, I'm a A driver. I sometimes get promoted to A plus, but after a week or two, I'm back to A because, yeah, that's where I feel most comfortable. That's where I feel more competitive
do,
for grinding to the top.
do you do like multiple accounts at all, or do you just focus on your one account?
I have now multiple accounts. Yes, I just have two accounts, by the way. Technically, I have three because when I started my PSN back in 2008, I just used my name, Yildiray, as my PSN, and I kept that one until now. That's my main account. But when I started YouTube, I didn't want somebody else picking Yil2D. So I created a secondary account. And when my wife was into Gran Turismo, I told her, yeah, you can use that one. I'm not using it, so you can use that one. And now she is actually the real Yil2D.
Okay, okay,
And
okay.
and after a time, I started a series to get from E to A plus or something like that, and I created another account, and that's yield to the dot or underscore, I don't know, YouTube, and that's my primary account now that I'm racing with P1R Racing Team.
Okay, okay. P1R Racing Team. Tell me a little bit about that. I
Yes.
that's one I don't know if I've heard of.
Yeah, actually, I joined RTR. I think you heard of the RTR
Definitely. Yeah,
racing team.
RTR is savage. Those guys are
Yeah,
fast, real fast.
uh, yeah, they are fast, and Hakan Power has been a
Shout out to
great guy.
Hawking.
Yeah, teaching me all the tips and tricks and coaching me like crazy, getting me up there in A plus, and big shout out to him. And I joined RTR because of him, actually. And he was so nice every time. Also, I met him at the expo. He was such a lovely dude. And yeah, he was our RTR driver. And when you looked at the rankings of the global
Oh yeah.
and Gran Turismo, you saw everywhere RTR this, RTR, 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 and I joined them like a content creator, not to race actually for competition or something like, but just a friendly face online that is clean and fair driver. And lately, there was some drama out there, but I don't want to get into that.
Yeah.
They renamed themselves to Project One Racing,
Okay.
and
Okay.
and the issue with my main account was I already changed its name like 3 or 4 times. I didn't have any name changes anymore,
Oh no.
and yeah, the only way was try to get a new account, and so I yeah used my secondary account for P1R.
Okay, so P1R now is the formerly known as RTR. We
Yes.
won't get into any of the drama. I try to again, I stay away from the drama. It's one of the things I constantly I not constantly, but oftentimes I'll get messages and I think I've I think one of the roles that I've played in this community, correct me if I'm wrong, if anybody feels differently, but people feel like they can talk to me, I guess, which is awesome. I
Yeah.
take a lot of pride in that. Shout out to Marley Diesel, who kind of triggered all of this. But I do like to take the time to talk to folks, and one of the things that I always say when it comes to the negativity or the drama is I don't give attention to negativity in efforts to not let it grow, because
Yeah. And
negativity needs energy to grow. And if you give it that energy, it's going to grow. Same thing with positivity. So I'm constantly trying to redirect to a positive thing. I know there's the drama out there and there's some things that happen. But I take a lot of pride in being a part of PHG. Shout out to Papa and all those guys and the amazing community that's out there. But I love hanging out with the different teams. RSR Racing is one of my favorite crews to hang out with, and I really like to see that kind of competitiveness in the GT world. I don't like I understand that with competition comes negativity, but I've been in sports my whole life, and I've been able to kind of just not overlook those things, but understand it's a part of the game. And if we just kind of move on, we can keep going. And one things I try to do on the track, and I was doing this with Misa because we're racing in the lower lobbies, is I'm trying to be the one who is positive, trying to, kind of give some people some bumps, not be in such a rush to pass, just kind of enjoying the vibe of the race. And I think it has some kind of
absolutely.
influence there. Do you guys feel like you're having kind of a positive impact, your channel?
Yeah, absolutely. And not only to my community only, but also on the online racing platform itself. Because I always try to be an example on the track for everyone else. And there are a lot of people that are also influence me, like yeah, Ross is one of them. He joined my channel after a race with him. He overtook me on the last corner of Laguna Seca, I think it was, and I just said kudos to you, buddy, in the chat in the game. And he came into my channel, into my chat, saying, "Hey, I am Ross Lappen. Thank you for the race," and like that. It's just the positive vibes. I only want to radiate positivity and only good vibes. That's also the reason why we called it Vibe, because we want to have the good vibes only.
Heck yeah. Heck yeah. Shout out to Hawken. I see him in the chat. I don't know how I came across Russ, man. I know that I don't think I've ever been privileged enough to race against Russ because he's so fast, but he's like constantly the top of my leaderboard, man. And he's always so kind, always hopping in, saying hello. One of my favorite community members, because of that positivity. And one of the things I
Yeah.
try to do, and now that I'm kind of growing a little bit, as I just have this philosophy of trying not to skip a channel when I like open up my YouTube. I like see the first one, I try to click there and I try to hang out for a little bit. Tell me how it is to manage now that you're at this, approaching 4,000 subs. It's only been uh, going what is this, not even 2 years, it feels like. How do you manage the community and kind of showing that you care? Is there kind of a method to it, or you just freelance it?
At the moment, yeah, it feels like a second job to stream every day, and I think I don't have enough time to create content. But like you said, it's been like freelancing, going with the flow, trying to stay connected with people as much as possible. Uh, yeah, it's a really great community in the Discord. Also, people that are joining my chats, everyone is trying to help and be helpful Like I learned a lot from guys like Hakan, Ross, Silva. Big shout out to him, the Portuguese alien, always on the top of the time trials. Yeah, a lot of people were coming into my chat and saying like, "Yo, you are doing this wrong. Try second gear. Try this corner like that. Brake earlier and stuff like that." And I take that to heart. I believe in 360 feedback. Like everyone can give everyone feedback, um, and that's the way I operate.
Yeah, I actually like my couch coaches. I think there's obviously an etiquette to it. I mean, when you're giving somebody advice or you're trying to help them out per se, there's definitely an etiquette to it. Know to not overwhelm them because we are racing and reading and racing and reading. There's a delay, so it's not the same corner, so I've learned to kind of count my corners. Shout out to Frunty, shout out to Iris, just people who've taken the time out of their day to like Iris stopped what he was doing and gave me like a whole half hour of coaching, and I went and I applied it to the track, and I like immediately improved by 2 seconds. And today, actually I'm doing a double header Saturday, which is why I didn't stream yesterday and Thursday, because I just kind of wanted to spend time with the family. But shout out to Yil with the 5 memberships, my dog. I appreciate you, bro. Thank you
Ooh,
so much. Thank you so much.
what? Where?
Finger
What?
slipped again. The finger slipped again. Shout out to you guys, man.
Yeah.
It's making a difference in my life. But I'm hanging out with Lead Pencil after this show today, and I'm going to be doing a learn with lead session. And this is going to be the first official coaching I've ever had in my racecraft, and I'm extremely excited because I've reached a point where I'm getting to that 500 top 500 mark pretty consistently. I've had some really amazing weeks. I finished one week at like 87th overall in the world, and I hate that I did that because now I feel like I'm not achieving the same level of success maybe in the combo because I reached that top
Yeah.
100. So now I'm like, if I'm not in the top 100, but what are you working on now to close the gap to the next level of racecraft that you want to get? Where you're at, I know you say you're pretty content with A, but you go to that A to the A plus. What's the next level in your race game that you want to work on?
Like I said earlier, I learn a lot of the fast people in my community, and they are always helpful, trying to teach me racecraft. Because when you jump over from controller to wheel, there is a steep learning curve. You need to learn everything from the beginning. Because even though I have my license, what, like 25 years now, racing is something different than just driving. And um,
Go ahead, Skino.
what my ambitions are, I see Pixel in the chat. Hi, Pixel. You're the best Swedish
Pixel,
Swedish driver of
miss you,
them all,
man.
by the way.
Miss you,
And you're
Pixel.
such a nice guy, Pixel, and I am so happy to get to know you, to get to hang out with you, man. I appreciate you. And like I said, my ambitions are maybe A plus in the future and try to compete with them at the top. But it's not like my first priority is just the community, to have the good vibes, have a good time.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Again, shout out to Pixel, man. One of my favorite dudes to hang out with. I vibed really well with him, and he was really open to helping me. I have like I haven't I believe it was at Spa. I believe it was at Spa, but I spent like, I don't know, he did a really long stream one day, but I spent like the whole day just watching him and applying. When you're starting out in Gran Turismo, do you think that assists and using those things are better? Or do you think wiping away all the assists and learning how to drive the car without that stuff is the more, I guess, speedy way to get your racecraft?
That's a great question because I also started with all the assists on, like braking zones, uh, traction control. Yeah, every assist that it's possible was on my earlier streams. And people like Bartosz, a shout out to him, was my first ever coach, and Noodle as well. They were coming into my chats when I just had like 100 or 200 subscribers, and they were like, "Yil, try to reduce your TC, try to eliminate stuff like braking zones, and try to learn the tracks. It will make you faster." And I just did it gradually, just build it off gradually, step by step, trying every week something to reduce the TC to first to 2, then 1. I was doing like the time trials or the qualifying with TC1 and the races with TC2, and I just tried to eliminate everything. And when did that and managed to stay on track, because everyone knows that I'm a lawnmower. I'm always over the grass and into the walls. I also have a special emoji made for it for my channel.
Yeah, they were talking
And
about the lawnmower emoji.
yeah, so it's a steep learning curve, and once you manage to get that skills, then you can be faster.
100%.
But
So,
but the main goal should be: are you having fun?
right.
It's not about winning. It's not about it. It needs to be about: are you having fun? Is even if you are using all the help there is, if you are having fun, and that should be the goal. It shouldn't be the goal like you need to be the fastest or something like that. You
I,
just need to have fun.
I feel like I hear you say I spent a long time on your channel yesterday, and I forget who came in, but they had said that they got to do something, and you said, "Don't forget to have fun. Remember, you're going out there to
Yeah,
race to have fun. Don't forget to do that." And it was just like another click. Like Misa has been working really hard to she wants to be competitive, and she holds a chip on her shoulder, being the Viking queen, I guess you'd say. But she'll tell you like straight up, I didn't well, I don't want to say this wrong, like allow her to do anything, but as her as her home coach, uh no assists. I didn't let her. I said take off all the assists, take off the traction control, take out the ASM, take off the throttle control, take off everything. And literally the only thing like I let her keep on there was like the turning markers. And I remember when I started off really bad, no assists. And I think some of the people in the Beehive Racing League, shout out to Brigsby and those fellas, can remember my very first lobby. And I'm stubborn. I'm a Chevy man, so I had ambitions to only use the Corvette in this game. When I started, I was like, I'm just going to drive the Corvette. Period.
yeah,
Not even gonna worry about it. And so I tried. I did try that. And some of the people from the beginning maybe remember my stubbornness, and I'm only going to use the Corvette. And I joined one of their lobbies. I couldn't even stay on the track. I was so frustrated. I left the scene. I didn't want to race in sport mode because I just felt like I was a liability, and worse than a lawnmower. I was a freaking bulldozer, man. I could not stay on the track to save my life. And I hope some people go back and look at those early videos, because I thought I was doing something. I had posted a video like 76,000th in the world, man. I'm getting better. And now I look back like how I've grown. So when it comes to assists, I think the less you use in the beginning, and it's going to be a hard learning curve. I tell this to Misa, imagine where you're going to be a year from now if you do it the right way. Because if you practice poor technique, you're going to build on those poor techniques. And after talking to Z in that interview, and I think a lot of people gained a lot of information about Z because he's so well respected and he's so fast. And it also it
absolutely.
comes off as like effortless. But I've been training now without ghosts, because something that he said stuck with me is learning to lead and not to follow. But I think following is a big part of the game. You got to learn to do that as well, not be an obstacle for people. But
Yeah.
is there anything you do now differently, or that you would have done differently to kind of build your racecraft, or do you think you did it right?
Yeah, like every skill that you learn, you can reflect to it, and to to maybe give out tips to others starting out. For me, I was never using refresh your ghost. So after a
Ah,
sector,
I argued with Fruity
and
about that for a while.
yeah, because I was thinking about look, if I'm gonna follow a ghost, and even if it's in my face, like really in my face, I need to learn the track.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it was Hakan that said to me, Yil, try to set it like zero 0.3 seconds away from you so you can see how they take their lines and how they turn their cars and stuff like that. And that made me actually faster. So,
Mm-hmm.
was I doing wrong? Maybe not, because chasing my own ghost and blocking my vision learned me the track,
Yeah,
because you need to anticipate the braking corner if you don't have vision. If there's a car in front of you or multiple cars, and you need to, if you only are focused on the braking points on the track, you can miss it sometimes. And for me, it was easier to practice like the ghost in my face.
100%. So I remember the day that I argued with Frunty about this. Some of y'all know Frunty. Ray's a pretty fast dude in the community. Very blunt coach, so kind of rubs people the wrong way, but I like blunt coaches. But he had told me I was chasing a ghost, and I was like, my belief at the time was I just got to keep closing the gap between me and my ghost and following my own ghost. First and foremost, I'm practicing poor racing technique, you know, because I'm making mistakes. I'm
Absolutely.
not the pro. And I had heard someone tell me before, like, look, you're not going to beat the fastest guy in the world. If you do, then you're going to be the fastest guy in the world. But with 99.9% of everybody else who's not the fastest guy in the world, follow the fastest guy in the world, follow his lines. And that reset, it was really hard for me to get used to the reset at first because it's a very drastic change. It pops up right in your face. But the
Yeah,
closer and closer you get to that car, the more you can see where he's braking, where he's letting off of the brake, how he's trail braking. You can start to see the behavior of the car, how he's getting the inertia to go one way to the other way, you know, messing with gravity a little bit,
absolutely.
you know, and my brain has developed so much in this, and it's one of my fascinations with this is it's a task that can never be completed because it can always be done better. And the fastest guy in the world, you know, he's sitting there, you know, knowing that as fast as that time is, I can be a little bit faster. And it's
Yeah.
absolutely fascinating. And I just shout out to, you know, Hawken and guys like that who are approaching that level. I love picking their brains and understanding, you know, what they're thinking, what kind of cues they're looking at. Do you have a warm-up regiment that you do, like when you jump on the rig, come get off of work, haven't had time to practice, you want to catch up in the numbers? What's the YIL2D method to be
The
ready?
method is put yourself out there. I try to never practice off screen. So when I'm jumping on into the new weekly races, I always try to do it in front of camera so people can relate and look at me. Maybe I'm a A driver, sometimes A plus, and struggle with the track the first Monday. Struggle with the car and try to find the best car for my driving style, the best braking balance and stuff. I try to show the world the real me, not someone who practiced like three hours before the stream and gets on and is fast. I just want to give them the full experience of what I am. I only can stream when my son goes to bed, so that's the time I have to stream, and then I don't want to miss anything, or I want to have as much as streaming time that I have.
That's
So yeah,
That's wild to think that you only race on stream with being that fast. I wanted to ask the chat, what is your ghost number? I see a whole lot of different numbers. Personally, I like I'm at point 0 or 0.2 now. I feel like, and it took me a while to get there because point 3 was a little bit too far. Couldn't see some things that I wanted to see. So I'm interested in chat. What's your ghost number? And do you reset the ghost or not? Going back to your point with qualifying off stream. So I was
Yeah.
notorious in the beginning for long streams, 8, 10, 11, 12 hours, and I
Yeah.
was a quality monster. I mean, I feel like someone, and I forgot who said it. It might have been Frunty, but it was like Travis is trying to get a year of racecraft packed into 6 months. And so, especially in the beginning, because I knew I had a goal at 1 year, I wanted to be at least an A driver, that kind of quality, that kind of class. So I compacted my training into the time that I had and qualifying on stream. So I'm always curious, like with the fast guys, do you quali off stream and then jump on so you can get the quality of the stream is a little bit better with the racing? Because I catch a lot of flack from guys like Crawler who are like, oh, I see Vikings on, but oh, I can't race with him because he's just qualifying, So how
Yeah.
much time do you give yourself to quali, and how do you kind of split that ratio between qualifying and racing?
I try to jump in early as I can into a race because it's not only about qualifying, it's also about racecraft and getting a race pace because you can be fast on a qualifier, but if you're lacking race pace, then you are gonna fall behind. So I try to balance that out. So between races, I try to qualify for a better time, but mostly crash and eat grass. But yeah, it's like Dorian and Captain always says in my chat, it's just a warming up race, and that's how I do it.
I
And
was
about the ghosts, it depends on where I am at the moment when I do a reset or not, because I saw that someone was typing, I think Faruk was, shout out to him by the way, is a great guy. I sometimes do resets and sometimes I don't because sometimes I'm trying to better myself and I don't want my ghost to jump with each sector. So I turn that off so I can see how fast I'm chasing my own ghost. So yeah, I don't think there is one good way. You need to see for yourself what's helpful
Yeah, I agree with
or
Farouk.
not.
And
Also,
finding what works for you for sure.
yeah, and also a big shout out to Chris Wood in the chat. He's
Yes.
the Papa Smurf as well, always by my side in my
Dude,
streams.
Chris is awesome. I had to make Chris a moderator. I have a kind of a saying,
Absolutely.
anytime a certain person pops into my channel, a moderator is born. We don't give no real estate to free real estate to no negativity. But shout out to Chris Wood, always working. I appreciate you, man. You're one of the best moderators around.
Yeah,
That guy is always on it. Shout out to HOR, Lappin, NTQ's in here, Kasope's in
yeah,
here,
NTQ,
Farouk been in here since the
Bricky,
beginning. Thank you guys for the
Venus,
donos, man. Thank you guys for supporting the
Petrol.
channel. It helps me so much. It's made a huge change in my life. I got 4 kiddos, so life is just frugal. So being able to do something
Yeah,
that I love to do, and the community being purposeful, and having some kind of back from you guys. It's a lot of work goes into this. I think maybe you kind of understand now how much work I put into this, and all the information I
absolutely.
got to gather, the pictures and the coordination and timing and getting the thumbnail out. And I work when I'm working. I'm I'm on site for 4 days and 3 days,
Yeah,
so it swings every week. So that's why sometimes you guys see me. How do you manage your rest? How do you, because this takes a lot of energy, it takes a lot of out of you, and racing is a
yeah,
physical sport, an esport, even it's physical. How do you manage, kind of, because you work full time, you have a family, how do you manage that?
yeah. Before I answer your question, I saw that Captain put exclamation mark squeak. There you go, buddy. Sorry for that.
I see you, Cap.
It's a channel joke of mine. So I got a lot of people saying, "Why don't you use grease on there?" Huh? But I have the grease at home, but the squeak is just funny.
Hey, if
Um,
you listen to the actual onboard on the cars, like sometimes I like watching onboard POV cams. There's so many rattles and shakes. I hate rattles and shakes in my vehicles. I hate it on the rig. If my chair's squeaking or anything, I hate it. Absolutely hate it. But honestly, we're spoiled, guys. We're spoiled.
Yeah, indeed. Can you repeat your last question?
Yeah,
Sorry for that.
how do you manage like being a father, being at work
Yeah.
full time, being a very successful community host? Like, how do you manage your time? Do you have any like days that you just give yourself to rest, or like, what's the yield method in community family job management?
For me, family comes first. When there is some urgency with family, that comes first. Secondary, my job, a full-time job that is paying my bills and makes everything what you see here as possible is a secondary priority. When I have a deadline, I will just not stream. That's it. And then tertiary is my hobby, my streaming. Um, yeah, I sacrifice a lot of sleep. People don't realize that streaming and content creating is actually a second job.
For sure.
And yeah, they don't see the work that goes into it. Yeah, and not only the upgrading part, that's the fun part, upgrading your rig or your setup and stuff. That's all great, but keeping up with the community, giving back to them, engaging with them, it's a lot of time that I sacrifice sleep for it.
Yeah, I was watching you yesterday, and I believe you were getting off stream like 2 or 3 in the morning.
Yeah.
And then you still had to send me over pictures. So I woke up to all those pictures. I think I actually saw them last night. So you got them into me before you went to bed. Managing all that stuff, man. You're looking extra sharp today, by the way. We've gotten a few comments on the crisp shirt. You got the crisp cut. We see you working, man. I see you working. But it's
Yeah.
fascinating to me how everybody manages this stuff. When we talk to Rory, and he does this 3 days a week, 8 hours all those 3 days. You can set your clock by when he's going to be on or off. I see some guys that are super super random. Some people take a lot of time off. I'm getting to the point where I'm having to manage this because it's a very important part of my life now. This community really pulls on my heartstrings, and especially, I mean, even after my birthday video, and just I felt extremely vulnerable in that moment,
Uh,
kind of tears
yeah.
flowing and things like that. So it really has. I've sacrificed a lot of gym time. I've sacrificed a lot of motorcycle time, a lot of garage time, because I think back to like before YouTube was in my life, I wasn't even really watching YouTube. Big sports guy, I watched a lot of sports. I've been, but lately I want to see what people are doing. I want to see who's out there. I want to see the updates. I want to stay in tune. And I feel like if I miss a couple days with somebody, I genuinely feel like I miss them. Like, do you feel that way?
Yeah, yeah, it's exhausting. But I get a lot of energy doing this, communicating with people, engaging with them. Like we have a vibe race going on after the stream, actually. So yeah, the people are giving back, and that's what gives me energy.
100%. I'm blown away. Again, I one of my favorite stories to share is the support for Hogston GT in his time of need.
Absolutely.
The way RSR has supported their community members in their time of need. Watching Gut of the Great and the Sandbox coming over to the sim racing community and immediately trying to make an impact and helping people. I see people like Susie Q that are donating their entire purse to charities. And it really
Yeah,
motivated me, like when I get that check on the 21st, to put out as much of that as I can. Of course, we got bills that need to be paid. We got parts on our vehicles that need to be fixed. Every once in a while, you get a little new trinket. I was able to get a PSVR 2 this year, which is something that I really wanted to get and experience on that side. So thank you again to the community in making that possible. But there was a time when I was on disability, and I was about 6 months into this, and my first monetization check, and I want the community to know this, that there was a low point. A bill needed to be paid, an electric bill at a property that I have, and one of my family members lives there, and that bill got paid because I had $160 check from YouTube that came in, and
that's
it was
awesome to hear, man.
that impact literally, and it wasn't that much, and it wasn't that much money, but it in my mind it was like, wow, this is probably like 20 people that have that are contributing to this peace of mind right now. And as it grows and as the community gets bigger, and I look forward into the future as to what this could potentially be one day, I'm just humbled and extremely grateful. And honestly, my voice will crack if I keep talking about what this community has done for me. So everybody who's in the chat now, I see Dutchy and Farouk and HOR and Pitzel, NTQ, Chris, just the last few names on there. Like, you all matter, and you have a place in my heart. And I know I could probably speak for Yil too. And
Yeah.
that's just, it grows, man. It's growing and growing, growing. Sometimes it gets overwhelming. Is there anybody that you kind of want to take the time to speak to, or your community's here, man? So
Yeah.
if you want to
I
put something out there, by all means, take the floor.
I think if I'm gonna single out several people, that's gonna I'm gonna miss hundreds of them because the community in its whole has been amazing for me. And I try to help them as much as I can because even though you can see it on stream sometimes, I get private messages with questions. I try to help with the P1R team. Yeah, they are all fabulous people, and I'm just trying to be helpful for everyone. So I'm not gonna single out a couple of them. Everyone knows that everyone is in my heart. I also want to shout out to my wife. She's been amazing, amazing mother, the biggest supporter someone can wish for. Um, yeah, and my beautiful son that I'm loving. He's my world.
Oh yeah, man. Oh yeah. Shout out to Maria. Appreciate you. You are the true goat, making all this
Absolutely.
possible. And to all the ladies out there who are supporting us stubborn men with our expensive toys and our crazy communities and bringing all this outdoor stress into the home sometimes. But just shout out to you guys. I want to take a moment too, at the kind of as we conclude the show and we get towards the end. I like to save it for the end. Tell me where YIL2D came from.
YIL2D actually, yeah, like I said, for me, it's all about the people. In 2008, I think, I started a Call of Duty clan, Living to Die. And Living to Die is actually from the lyrics of a song from Biggie Smalls with Tupac. Like, it went like, why are we dying to live if we are just living to die? And that L2D, Living to Die, stuck with me because we were all playing a game and we were just living to die into that game in Call of Duty. And then was also the time that I created my YouTube channel for some compilations of awesome no scopes that I had with Call of Duty 4 and so on. And that name stuck with me. I just made a fusion with Yil and L2D, and it became Yil2D. And I just stick with it. And now it just embodies love to drive or yield to drive. And that's it.
I like it, man. I like it. I like the depth of it. I know we keep things shallow in this podcast, man. We didn't want to go too deep, but I think your name and identity, your badge, your logo, they become iconic. It becomes, I'm no longer Travis, to most people. I'm Viking King,
Yeah.
and I try to, I know people want to understand kind of where Viking King came from, and where my kids came up with it. I kind of had I embraced my Viking heritage while I was on disability, because I didn't have anybody professional to stand in front of. So my beard was ridiculously long and nappy, and it wasn't even all that great. But I shout out to the compliments for it. My hair, I had the sides of my head shaved, my hair was back, and Misa would braid it, and I really kind of embodied it. And when I started the channel, it was Viking King, and so what it comes from is I grew up an orphan. I grew up in the system, and didn't really have a lot of ties to my family. So once I started meeting my family as I got older, and I got a hold of one of my cousins who did the whole ancestry and is really obsessed with the 21 and Me and all did all those tests and stuff. And there's an 11th century Viking king named Rorik, who landed in or docked in Eastern Europe and kind of started the Viking settlements in Europe. And he was like the last, one of the last Viking kings. So with that tie, I kind of feel that some of my ambitions and some of the ways that I hold myself accountable for others and way I help people. And my whole mission is to not create a kingdom per se or anything like that. I actually, because I'm a very God fearing person, I don't consider myself a king at all. I want everybody to treat themselves as kings, and I'm going to treat myself to the highest and utmost ability that I can, and if I carry myself with those kind of qualities, and my neighbor carries himself with those kind of qualities, and the neighbor across the street and everybody in my community carries himself as qualities, then we're going to be living in a community of castles. And that's just my belief, and that's just kind of how I try to push the community to be the best that they can be. And I hope that vision and mentality comes across, because I've thought about changing my name to just Viking Gaming or whatever, but I really like the VKG part. I like my logos. I like that stuff. So I don't know if I ever will change, kind of like Rory had said that he went from Erie is to Rory Alexander. I don't know if I'll ever be Travis Rail and that's it. But I think names are important, and I really like, when I hear the backstory behind all that. So thank you for sharing that, man.
Yeah, no problem. Like you said, you have the Viking thing going on, and you are doing very well, Travis. I really like your style, your down to earth approach, and your branding. If you ever need a branding update, give me a call, buddy.
Heck yeah, man. I just want to throw the graphics up there again of some of the work that you do with the logo design. You've helped a lot of people, and you're actually one of
Yeah,
those guys that people can come um, to kind of to help out with that branding and logo design. So community out
yeah.
there, man.
I just like to help people out. I don't expect anything in return. I love how everyone is engaged and yeah, just being a good person, I guess.
100%, man. 100%. The community's asking, man. They need to see the teeth. They need to see the big smile. They need to see that yield
Yeah,
chuckle, man.
thank you, everyone. I appreciate everyone. Thank you for showing up, showing support. Even if you are rewatching this afterwards, thank you for taking the time to check it out.
Heck yeah, man. It's that forever content behind the wheel. Yil, I
Yeah,
want to thank you so much, man, for being here. It's been an awesome pleasure. It's been a very humble experience this whole week communicating with. Actually, we started communicating with this about this in the beginning of April, but because we had the holiday and my birthday and times and stuff and family coming first for both of us, I appreciate you taking the time out of the day. I know that you have a big race coming up. I have a second stream that I got to do later today. So I think we've definitely maximized the time that we had. Big shout out to the community,
absolutely.
everybody who's here. There's so many people in the
Absolutely.
chat. I believe there's still like 50 people here. So I don't want to isolate anybody, but we love you guys so much. Skelly, I see you, big dog. I see your messages, man. I want to get as many
Yeah.
people on behind the wheel as possible. I've had a lot of conversations, but today it was all
A
about
lot of
YIL2D, man.
yeah,
So once again,
a
man,
lot of
thank you so
awesome
much.
people.
If you want
Yeah,
to
thank
take
you
the time to
everyone.
say goodbye, the floor is yours once
Yeah,
again.
thank you everyone. I saw you all in the chat. Don't think I didn't greet, because normally when someone is in my chat, I try to greet everyone, but today it's a bit different. So I'm just gonna say thank you all for taking the time to join us. Thank you for your donations to Viking. He really deserves it. He's a great guy. We had a great chat before this as well. Thank you for having me, Travis. Appreciate you, and do what you do.
Oh yeah,
You will
man.
get there.
Thank you so much, brother. I definitely feel like a friendship is forming when we do these things.
Absolutely.
A lot more so than just being able to jump in and say hi, on the chats and stuff. So it's a really unique experience. The 16th episode and 17th alumni member behind the wheel, y'all, YIL2D.
Yeah.
Appreciate you, brother. Thank you so
Um,
much, man.
Can I say one more thing?
Of
Maybe a
course.
shout out to everyone who is or who will be joining us in the Sim Racing Expo coming this October, like Pixel, Noodle, Ross, they are all flying over. Um, and then all the other guys, please come to the Sim Racing Expo. Travis, if you have the possibility to be there, would be
I
awesome to hang
wish.
out with you and everyone. Come up to me, come up to everyone, every content creator. You will see that we all are just people, and we will have a great chat with you.
Heck yeah, man. I hope one day to be able to get over to the other side of the pond and rub elbows with you guys. Maybe do some behind the wheels live, which would be the absolute most amazing thing. I know there's expos in the United States. Got to find some time for that because it does look like a big traveling circus that we could have a lot of fun with. So thank you, sir,
Yeah,
so much. I appreciate you, man. So much I cannot say it over. I could
appreciate
say
you
it over and
too.
over and over again. I'll let you get back to your family. Let you get back to Belgium, all the way from Belgium, y'all. YIL2D, man. You have a good one. See you, brother.
Thank you, everyone. Bye.
What another banger show, y'all. How'd you what do you guys think, man? You guys think that this is I don't know how to compare shows or rate shows or anything like that, but I feel great, man. I feel awesome. I feel after talking to Yil, I feel uplifted. It was a very um God, just inspirational and motivational. I feel like each episode has its own theme. When we were talking to Rory, it was about, kind of like dads, and we're talking to Jessers like mental health, and we're talking to Eric, and it's about like coming up, and Hogston is about the grind. With Yil, it was really about embracing the positivity of the community and being a good host. And I just want to shout out to everybody who I've seen just kind of pop up in the chat with Venus and Rob, Brigsby, Petrol, Captain Morgan, Lappin, NTQ, Yaki up in here. You know we love Yaki and the early birds. Ricky, geez, Uncle Ali, man, peace, brother. It's good to see you. K Browns, new name that I think I've seen in here. HOR. I just want to say shout out to Lappin. Thank you so much for your support. You guys, the support goes so far in my life, and having this as a, just as not just an extra income, but as an extra way to do some things with my family. Honestly, my kids coming in and kind of seeing that it's being progressive, and just being able to set that example and be a good community host. I'm so humbled and grateful for you guys. Thank you so much. The next episode, I don't know when it'll be. I don't know who the guest is going to be for episode 17. But you guys know it's going to be amazing. You know it's going to be a banger. So until next time, y'all, I love you guys. I appreciate you guys. Thank you for stopping by. Viking King is out.
Late night lights, PS5. Gran Turismo, we drive. Smooth streets, feeling alive. YIL2D, we thrive. Wheel in hands, so tight, so right. Streaming all night till the morning light. Fast cars, the thrill, the ride. YIL2D, the pride. YIL2D on the screen. Yeah, streaming dreams, so keen. Yeah, YIL2D, feeling free. Oh, racing spree, come with me. Oh, heartbeats match the engine's roar. Every turn wanting more. Racing kings, we soar. YIL2D, hit the floor. Nights alive, speeding high. YIL2D on the screen. Yeah, streaming dreams, so keen. Yeah, YIL2D, feeling free. Oh, racing spree, come with me. Oh, streaming dreams, so keen. Late night lights, PS5. Gran Turismo, we drive, we drive.